So one of the things that I started to learn when I delved into, neuroscience and, I looked into neurolinguistic programming, which is another field of human development. I looked into psychocybernetics, which talks about how we see ourselves and how that affects what we do. I looked into fields like metaphysics and quantum physics, which are now talking about, where the crossroad where science and spirituality meet. I looked into documents and scriptures from 1,000 years ago, and I looked into the lives of people that were achievers in the 19th and 20th century, but also modern day celebrities. All of this to try and identify if there was a common denominator of success. Now, one of the things when we talk about success is so many people have a distorted opinion of what success is, but to me, success simply means living the ideal life that you want. So if you're living the life that you want, you're successful. Sometimes it has to do with money, sometimes it has to do with lifestyle, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have to be about money. Certainly money helps because, I explain to people that wealth is not always about having a lot of money, it's about having a lot of options. And I feel that the more options you have, the more control you have over your life. And the more control you have over your life, the more successful you feel. One of the most powerful things that you can do, and I'm convinced of this, one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself is really get to know yourself. Because what happens is when you really get to know yourself, and by that I mean know exactly what your strengths are, know your weaknesses, know your values, know your passion, know your goals. And this is actually called neurocoherence. So neurocoherence is a state where your goals, your values, your vision, your passion, your strengths, everything's in alignment. And what happens is, if you've ever been in the company of an individual that, you knew that there was something really centered and powerful about that person, you could just feel it in their presence. The chances are that person has neurocoherence. And, we try and fix a lot of the stuff that's happening outside in order to improve our lives. But we don't actually fix the most important thing, which is ourselves and what is going on in our mind. And so I really believe that rather than getting really concerned about all of the noise out there and all the stuff that the media is talking about, all the technology replacement, all the businesses that are failing, we first and foremost spend time learning about ourselves. Why? Because success in life is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. What's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is a leader that has a vision and that goes after that vision, okay? So if we don't get caught up in these fancy terms, the reality is everyone has the opportunity to be a leader. You do not need a fancy title, you do not need a designation, you don't even need other people to see you as a leader. Leader simply means that you believe in something and you've taken the initiative to make something happen. You can do that in your family, you can do that in your community, you can do that in your industry, you can do that in your country. We all have the opportunity to be leaders. So leadership is not something that is reserved for, a few elite people out there. You don't need education, you just need to, you need to live intentionally. You need to make the transition from just having good intentions to intentional living.